what if a seemingly simple practice, just focusing on your own body, could unlock this incredible array of benefits?
Yeah, like really profound stuff.
Exactly. I mean, everything from calming your mind right down to achieving really deep insights and, well, even abilities that sound pretty surprising. Today, we're doing a deep dive into an ancient practice called Kāyagatāsatisuttaṃ, which translates beautifully, actually, to mindfulness immersed in the body.
And this isn't just some abstract idea, is it? Our source material puts us right there in the Jetavana Monastery in Savatthi, a real place.
Right, a busy center of learning.
And you've got these monks already buzzing about Kāyagatāsati. They're calling it wonderful, marvelous.
Why were they so excited?
Well, because the Buddha himself, the figure they saw as fully awakened, the knowing and seeing one, the Arahaman, he actually declared this specific practice. He said it has great fruit and great benefit, huge praise.
And the story gets better, because he didn't just say it from afar. He actually walked into the hall where they were all talking about it.
Right into the middle of their conversation.
Asked them what the buzz was about, and then just launched into explaining it himself.
Incredible.
So our mission for you today, on this deep dive, is to really unpack how you develop this Kāyagatāsati, and crucially, what those incredible, almost unbelievable benefits actually are. We're sticking right to that original discourse.
Looking at the practical steps, and those really surprising outcomes the text describes.
Okay, let's get into it. How does someone even start cultivating this mindfulness immersed in the body? I mean, it sounds simple enough, but the source details suggest it's, well, pretty deep, quite systematic. Where do you begin?
Yeah, that's what's so fascinating, isn't it? That systematic approach. The Buddha lays out these methods that start, very simply, but they progressively get deeper.
Yeah.
It's really all about bringing this precise, almost like surgical awareness to the most basic parts of our physical experience.
So it starts with the setting, finding a quiet place. The text mentions a forest or the root of a tree, even an empty hut.
That's the setup, yeah. Find some solitude. Then you sit cross-legged, body erect, and you establish mindfulness right there in front, as the text says.
And then the breath. That seems central.
Absolutely central. From that calm starting point, the core practice kicks in with the breath. You just become consciously aware of breathing in, breathing out.
Just noticing it.
Noticing it, yeah. And noticing if it's a long breath or a short breath. But it moves beyond that pretty quickly. You actually train yourself to breathe while being aware of your entire body.
The whole body, how does that work?
It's about expanding that focus. And also, you train to breathe while actively calming what the text calls the bodily formation, basically settling any physical restlessness or tension.
Okay. And the text mentions an immediate result from just doing this breath practice.
It does, and it's quite profound. It says that if you practice diligently, ardently, resolutely, those household-based thoughts of longing.
You mean like worrying about bills, planning dinner, that kind of thing?
Exactly. All that mental chatter about daily life desires, anxieties, attachments to the mundane world, it says they're abandoned. They just fall away.
Wow.
And as they fall away, the mind just naturally settles. It becomes internally steady, unified, concentrated. That mental stability, that's the thread we'll see running through all of this.
Okay, so it's not just sitting and breathing. This mindfulness then expands to posture.
Right. It's about knowing when you're walking, when you're standing, sitting, lying down. Just knowing in any given moment how your body is positioned.
And does that have the same effect on the mind, that same settling?
It absolutely does. The text repeats it. Same result, abandoning those distracting worldly thoughts, which leads straight back to that crucial internal steadiness, that settling, that unification, that concentration of mind. It reinforces it.
It feels like it's becoming much more pervasive now. It's not just formal practice anymore.
Not at all.
It seems to extend to absolutely all activities, like needing full awareness, clear comprehension in everything, knowing when you're, say, going out or coming back, looking around, bending, stretching, even just wearing your robes or carrying your bowl.
Precisely. It covers a lot. Eating, drinking, chewing, tasting, going to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Even broader states like sleeping, waking up, talking, or just being silent. Every single moment.
And the result is always the same.
Consistently. The text keeps emphasizing that same outcome. Abandonment of those household thoughts, leading to the mind becoming steady, settled, unified, concentrated. It basically turns every single action, no matter how mundane, into an opportunity for practice.
Okay, here's where, for me, it gets really interesting and, well, maybe a bit surprising for some listeners too.
Mm.
It moves beyond just cultivating calm, pleasant feelings.
Right.
It gets into this deeper, sometimes quite stark observation of the body itself, like contemplating the 32 body parts.
Right.
Why? Why go into these seemingly, I don't know, unpleasant or clinical details? What's the purpose of that?
That's a really great question, because you're right, it kind of goes against our usual instinct to, focus on the nice bits. The why is profound, though. It's about radically shifting your perception. It's about detaching from the idealized, often quite limited, view we have of our bodies.
Seeing it as it is.
Exactly, confronting its impermanent, composite nature head on. By doing that, you start to loosen the grip of attachment, which the Buddha identified as, a key obstacle to real insight. So you look at this body, soles of the feet up, crown of the head down, and see it as full of, various impurities.
And the list is explicit, isn't it? Hair of the head, hair of the body, nails, teeth, skin.
Flesh, sinews, bones, bone marrow, kidneys.
Heart, liver, pleura, spleen, lungs.
Intestines, mesentery, stomach contents, feces.
Bile, phlegm, pus, blood, sweat, fat.
Tears, grease, saliva, mucus, synovial fluid, urine. It's quite the list.
It really is comprehensive, a full inventory.
But the insight isn't just the clinical list, you see. It's the shift. The analogy they give is like having a bag open at both ends filled with different kinds of grain rice, wheat, beans, sesame seeds. And a person with good eyesight opens it up and just knows, that's rice, that's wheat, those are beans. It emphasizes this detailed, but importantly, dispassionate observation of what the body's actually made of, not just the surface appearance.
So the aha moment is realizing it's just components.
Kind of, yeah. The aha is realizing, okay, if this body is just this temporary collection of stuff, what am I actually clinging to so tightly? And again, the text notes that this contemplation deepens that mental steadiness, that concentration we keep coming back to.
Then the practice shifts again to reflecting on the body in terms of its elements: earth, water, fire, wind.
Exactly. The four primary elements, or daitas. This time the analogy is perhaps a bit graphic again. It's like a skilled butcher or their apprentice.
Oh boy.
Who's killed a cow, divided it up expertly into portions, and is sitting at a crossroads with the pieces laid out.
Okay, so it's analytical, breaking it down.
Precisely. It illustrates that analytical process. Breaking down the body, understanding its composite nature, seeing that it's not some solid, permanent thing. What we think of as me or mine is just this temporary coming together of these impersonal elements.
And the result is still that mental focus.
Still the same result mentioned. The mind becomes steady, settled, unified, and profoundly concentrated. Less clinging, more clarity.
And then we get to the cemetery contemplations, which I have to say sound the most intense.
They are very vivid, yes.
The idea is you might see a corpse, maybe discarded in a charnel ground, perhaps dead 1, 2, 3 days, bloated, livid, festering, and then you apply that observation directly to your own body, thinking, this body too is just like that. It will become like that. It can't escape it. That's powerful stuff.
It absolutely is, and it doesn't stop there. It goes through the stages. Seeing a corpse being eaten by scavengers, crows, vultures, dogs, jackals, insects.
Right.
Then seeing just a skeleton, maybe still held together by sinews with some flesh and blood. Then later, just the sinews.
And then just bones.
Scattered bones, yeah. A hand bone here, a foot bone there, the skull over there, and even further bones bleached white like shells, or maybe bones piled up after a year or more, or even just bone dust, rotten, reduced to dust.
So the point is really hammering home the impermanence, the decay. But how does facing something so stark lead to mental focus and liberation rather than just, horror or despair?
That's the crucial paradox, isn't it? This isn't about dwelling on the morbid for its own sake. It's about confronting reality directly, the reality of impermanence that we all face.
And the result isn't despair.
The unexpected result, according to the text, is liberation, freedom. It changes how you relate to your body, your life right now, and importantly, throughout all these potentially confronting contemplations, the text consistently highlights the same result we've seen before.
Abandonment of worldly thoughts.
Exactly. Which leads, yet again, to the mind becoming internally steady, settled, unified, and concentrated. It's like this relentless purification and strengthening process.
Okay, so all this focus, all this awareness, these deep, sometimes stark contemplations, what does it ultimately build towards in the mind? The text mentions progressing into jhānas. These sound like very deep states.
They are profound states of meditative absorption. And if you connect it back, these jhanas aren't just like nice feelings or relaxation states, though they can be pleasant.
Right.
They are profound levels of concentration and insight that arise naturally from the sustained practice of Kāyagatāsati. The practice creates this incredibly unified, stable mind, which is then capable of entering these deeper states. Think of them as maybe platforms for even deeper seeing.
Okay, so the first jhana, it's described as being secluded from sensual pleasures, secluded from unwholesome states. It has initial and sustained thought. It's born of seclusion, and it's filled with rapture and pleasure.
Yes, and the key thing is the practitioner saturates their entire body with this rapture and pleasure born of seclusion. No part is left untouched.
Saturates, like the analogy they use.
Exactly. The analogy is a skilled bath attendant, or their apprentice, mixing bath powder with water, kneading it until the ball of dough is moist, saturated, permeated through and through, inside and out with that moisture. It's that total immersion in the state.
Okay. Then the second jhana. Here, the initial and sustained thought calms down.
Right. It arises from concentration itself. Still has rapture and pleasure, still has unification of mind, but without that initial and sustained mental application. It's smoother, more settled. And again, you pervade and saturate the body with this concentration-born rapture and pleasure.
And the analogy for this one?
Is a deep lake fed by an underground spring. No water flows in from the outside, east, west, north, or south. Maybe it just gets rain now and then, but cool water just wells up constantly from within, filling and saturating the entire lake. It's an internal source now, self-sustaining joy.
Then the third jhana. Here the rapture fades away.
The intense rapture fades, yes. The practitioner dwells in equanimity, balanced, observant, clearly comprehending, but still experiences pleasure with the body. More subtle, steady pleasure. And again, they pervade and saturate the body with this pleasure born of equanimity.
What's the image for this?
Think of lotuses, blue, red, or white, born in the water, growing in the water, never leaving the water. They're nourished by it and permeated from root to tip with cool water. It's that sense of being fully immersed and suffused with a calm, cool pleasure and balance.
Okay, finally, the fourth jhana.
Yeah.
Here, pleasure and pain are both abandoned. Joy and grief have already disappeared.
Correct. You enter the state beyond pleasure and pain. It's characterized by pure equanimity and mindfulness, utterly purified. And you sit pervading the body with a pure, bright mind. Again, no part of the body is untouched by this clarity.
And the analogy here
is a person sitting completely covered head to foot with a clean white cloth. Every single part of their body is enveloped by that white cloth. It represents the total pervasion of the mind by this pure, bright, equanimous awareness. And it's worth noting again, even reaching this incredibly refined fourth jhana, the text emphasizes it still leads back to that fundamental quality, the mind becoming internally steady, settled, unified, and concentrated. That foundation supports everything.
So this is the payoff. This is the great fruit and great benefit the monks were so thrilled about.
Yeah.
It's clearly not just about feeling calm or focused. It's about, well, profound transformation and these abilities that sound quite incredible.
Exactly. So what are these fruits specifically? The text gets quite detailed. It covers both deep spiritual progress and, yes, capacities that definitely go beyond what we normally think of as human experience.
Okay, what's first?
First, it talks about comprehensive virtue. It says whoever has developed Kāyagatāsati, really made much of it, has basically absorbed all wholesome states that lead to knowledge. Everything beneficial is included.
All wholesome states. That's huge.
It is. The analogy given is the great ocean. Just as the ocean contains all the rivers that flow into it, this practice contains all wholesome qualities. It's like the ultimate foundation.
Right. What else? Protection from Mara. I remember you mentioning Mara earlier. Temptation. Distraction.
Yes, protection from mental defilements, obstacles. The text uses these really great analogies. If Kāyagatāsati is not developed, Mara finds an opening, finds support in you.
How so?
It's like throwing a heavy stone into wet clay plop, it sinks right in.
Right.
Or like rubbing dry, sapless wood with a fire stick, super easy to start a fire. Or like an empty water jar on a stand, someone comes along with water, easy to just pour it in, you're vulnerable.
Got it. But if the practice is developed,
then Mara finds no opening, no support. The counter-analogies are just as vivid. Like throwing a light ball of string against a solid wooden door panel boing, it just bounces off, no purchase.
okay.
Or trying to start a fire by rubbing wet, sappy wood, good luck with that, it's not going to catch easily. Or like a water jar that's already full to the brim, someone brings more water, there's nowhere to put it.
So the mind becomes resilient, unshakable almost.
That's the idea. Resilient against those internal and external forces that pull us off track, truly unassailable.
Okay, what's next? This sounds like it's building towards something even bigger. Special knowledges. Abhiññā.
Yes, the aviññās, higher knowledges or direct experiences. The text says that someone who has developed Kāyagatāsatisuttaṃ can direct their mind to realize any phenomenon they choose directly and experience it personally, like a witness.
That sounds like incredible mental control and clarity.
It really does. And again, powerful analogies. Imagine a water pot, full to the brim, stable on a stand. A strong person can just dip in and draw water whenever they want. Effortless access.
Okay.
Or picture a square pond on level ground, banks built up, full of water. A strong person can just cut an opening anywhere in the bank and the water will flow out exactly where they direct it.
Control over the flow.
Exactly. And the third one, a chariot harnessed with thoroughbred horses, ready to go, standing on level ground, whip and reins ready. A skilled driver, an expert trainer, can mount it, take the reins, take the goad, and drive that chariot wherever they want to go.
So the mind becomes like that well-trained horse or that accessible water. Completely responsive.
Perfectly put. The mind becomes completely workable, flexible, powerful, and responsive to your intention. Able to access knowledge and experience directly without impediment. It unlocks potential.
And then the text just straight up lists 10 specific advantages, doesn't it?
It does. A clear list of 10 benefits you can expect.
Okay, let's run through them. Number 1, overcoming discontent and content. You're not overwhelmed by moods, basically.
Right. You master them rather than them mastering you.
Yeah.
Number 2, overcoming fear and dread. Same principle, mastery over fear.
That alone sounds life-changing.
Absolutely. 3, endurance. Incredible tolerance for cold, heat, hunger, thirst, insect bites, flies, mosquitoes, wind, sun, snakes, but also for harsh words, criticism, and even intense physical pain. Sharp, severe, even life-threatening pain.
Yeah.
You endure.
4, gaining the 4 jhānas we talked about, accessing those deep meditative states at will, easily.
Without difficulty, without trouble.
Number 5.
Yeah.
Okay, this is where it gets into what sounds like superpowers. Attaining various supernormal powers.
It does sound like that from our perspective, yes.
Like becoming many from being one. Becoming one from being many. Appearing and disappearing at will. Passing through walls, mountains, like through air.
Diving into the earth like it's water, walking on water like it's land.
Flying through the air like a bird, touching the sun and moon with your hand. Exercising mastery with the body, even up to the highest heavens, the Brahma world.
That's what the text describes as attainable outcomes of this profound mental development.
Okay. Number 6, the divine ear. Hearing sounds both divine and human, far and near, beyond normal hearing.
Purified hearing, yes. 7, knowing others' minds. Being able to discern the mental state of others, whether their mind has lust or not, hatred or not, delusion or not.
Whether it's contracted or scattered, developed or undeveloped, concentrated or not, liberated or not.
Exactly. Direct perception of others' mental states. 8, recalling past lives, remembering your own previous existences, 1 life, 2 lives, hundreds, thousands, back through eons with all their details and features.
Incredible. 9, the divine eye.
Similar to the divine ear, but with vision. Seeing beings pass away and be reborn, understanding how their karma leads them to good or bad destinations, seeing their qualities inferior, superior, beautiful, ugly, seeing the mechanics of karma in action.
And finally, number 10, the ultimate goal.
The ultimate fruit, yes. Achieving liberation from the defilements, the taints, the mental corruptions. Realizing right here in this life, through direct knowing, the taintless liberation of mind. Liberation through wisdom and dwelling in that state. Complete freedom from suffering.
Wow. Wow, what an immense scope. What profound implications for this practice, Kāyagatāsatisuttaṃ.
It really is staggering when you lay it all out.
Starting from what seems so simple breath, posture awareness, moving through these really rigorous, sometimes confronting contemplations of the body, reaching these deep states of mental absorption, the jhānas, and then potentially unlocking this whole range of extraordinary abilities and insights, culminating in complete liberation.
It truly underscores that connection between mind and body and the potential held within focused awareness. And, even if those higher powers, the aviññās, aren't someone's immediate goal.
Right, maybe that seems a bit far out for daily life.
Perhaps. But those foundational benefits are incredibly relevant, aren't they?
Yeah.
Mental steadiness, clarity, that resilience against discomfort, physical or mental, freedom from being constantly swept away by thoughts.
Absolutely. Those are profoundly transformative for just navigating modern life. This deep dive really shows a path to not just, feeling a bit mindful sometimes, but to actually becoming the master of your own inner world.
That's a great way to put it. True mastery.
So it makes you wonder, if cultivating this kind of dedicated, deep awareness of our own bodies could unlock this level of mastery over our minds, and even these abilities to see and know in ways we can barely conceive of, what else? What other innate potential might we have that we just haven't begun to unpack yet?
That's the provocative thought, isn't it? It invites reflection.
Yeah.
Maybe just consider, how even a small amount of this mindfulness immersed in the body could start to shift things in your own daily routine.
Like how?
Perhaps just through more conscious breathing now and then, or really trying to be fully present when you're walking or eating or listening. It might just offer a little glimpse into these profound benefits we've been discussing, a starting point on that path.